Hey, welcome to my kitchen. Today, in the mood for some corn muffins. We've all had them. We've all had really good ones, really bad ones. I've made some really bad ones. But I eventually discovered a recipe on Food Network site from the Neelys. And every time I've made it, they've been pretty darn good. But I had to make it my own. That's what I'm going to show you how to do today. So the changes I'm making is I'm not just using any old cornmeal. I'm using ones from a local grist mill called Lindley Farms. It's a coarse grind, so I did run it through the spice mill 10 seconds for getting it a little smoother. And they use honey, but I grew up in New England, and even when you had bad corn muffins, what you did with them was you put some maple syrup on it. So I'm only going to use half the honey they recommend, and I'm going to do the other half. I'm going to do some maple syrup just for the fun of it all. And come on over here to the work area and I'm going to show you how it's done. The nice thing about corn muffins is any muffin, they come together pretty quick. We got a cup of flour, cup of cornmeal, tablespoon of baking powder, teaspoon of salt, half cup of sugar, cup of milk, 2 eggs. And this is where we're going to diverge from the Neelys. We are not going to use a 1/4 cup of honey. We're going to use 1/8 of a cup of dark honey and 1/8 of a cup of maple syrup, just to give it a little change. And you'll notice the really bright yellow from the butter. That's actually Kerrygold butter. It's a favorite. It actually makes a good bit of a difference. We really enjoy it. First thing we got to do is mix up the eggs and such, and get the liquids together. So here we go. Number 1 egg. Number 2 egg. That goes away. Beat these up. So I'm just going to mix these together, trying to get out any of the whites. We're not going to mix the batter up much, but we want this to not have all those little special pieces in them. Alright, that's good. To this we're going to add our milk. Just put it in there. Mix that up. Next we're going to add what honey I can get out of this. We gave up, we switched honeys. Hate to waste stuff, but you know, at a certain point in time, that's a bit much. Went a little heavy on the honey here, so we'll go a little heavy on the you didn't say anything there. So that's a bit much. These are all about measurements. So that's more like 1/3 of a cup between the two of them. So it's all good. We're happy. Alright, give that a stir, sort of make that all come together. Now what I do know is this milk is still a little cold, so it will make that butter congeal into a nice hard mass. So we're going to do things. If the milk was warm, I could put it in the microwave. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to mix the dry ingredients now. And we're going to basically take the flour in, sugar, salt, and the baking powder. And we're going to use a whisk to sort of mix that up. Now we're going to add in the cornmeal. Again, I'm going to use the whisk. Get things sort of even. That looks good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add the butter around here. And yes, it's going to clump in. But in a minute, we're going to add this stuff. And what's going to happen here is that flour is going to warm up the milk pretty quick, and it's already in there. And typically I would use just a spoon, but in this case, it's all going to come out all right. We're not looking for perfect. Lumps are fine. There we go. Those lumps are gone. Now we're going to go to the spoon, which I should have been using at the beginning. Now here comes another change from the Neely's recipe. There we go. Those lumps are gone. Now we're going to go to the spoon, which I should have been using at the beginning. Now here comes another change from the Neely's recipe. We have buttered the pans. They used papers. Papers are really cool, except they taste like paper. Some of the best part of the corn muffin gets stuck to the paper. And when you try to get to that, all you end up with is a mouthful of paper. So I found that 1/3 cup measure is probably the best thing for this. Fills them up just right. And if you take a little too long or stir that a little too much, the baking powder will activate and you'll end up with a soggy mess. Well, a sticky mess. A lot of people you will see use scoops, ice cream scoops. I don't. Use 1/3 cup. The oven, she is preheated to 400 degrees. You can hear her chugging away in the background. Put these in and see you in 15 minutes. All right, the first thing you're going to notice is these are a little darker than your average corn muffins. Just is the way it is, adding sugar to things, and my oven's probably a little hotter than the Neely's, and you'll notice these are even more full than, if you go to their website, what they'll look like. But I said these are probably stuck to this, and you can see they almost want to come out, but they don't. So what you're going to do is just run a knife around the edge of all of them, and then wait 10 to 15 minutes. There, that one just loosened up. It's not, there it is. It's a little too hot to handle, but I'm going to take care of that, and then I'll show you these things when they're ready to serve. So see you in about 15 minutes. All right, the time is up. It is time to get these out of here. Now I've gone around these things a few times, and you'll look at these and you'll see these are a little dark, and this is exactly what I was looking for. So what happened is, because we put the butter in there on these muffin tins, they browned, and that's brown butter, and that's an awesome flavor. So one might get stuck. What you do is just roll it around a little bit, and it'll come out. These have all decided to be good. I like putting them upside down because that lets them cool off better. Gets them done a little faster. Here we're going to have one that's going to fight me here. So it doesn't want to come up. Of course, now that I'm showing you guys, it wants to come out all fine right now. But we want to do that. And this one got a little much in it, that's why it's coming apart. Again, it's all good. Let these cool off a bit. So right now, they look like this. I'm going to let them cool off for another 5 minutes or so, and then I'll show you what it's like inside one. Okay, it's now time to show you guys what these look like on the inside. So we're going to pick this little guy, get all these out of the way. I'm going to leave them upside down. going to just basically cut this open for you. So there you have it. It's good, wonderful corn muffin. Very tender, very moist. That's what I like about it. Hint of maple syrup. It's how I made it mine. You make it yours.